So in this video, we're going to go over just the HTML. We're going to start the HTML CSS demo. So we can start by installing Sublime Text. There is, in week 4 of Brightspace, a link to Sublime Text here. You can also just Google it, and it should take you to the Sublime Text website. If you are on a Mac, you want to obviously download the Mac version. If you're on a Windows, you have to come here and then download it there, I believe. So make sure you get the right one for the Windows. You can also change between dark and light. I like the dark better. So you might want to do that. And I believe this would be it here for the Windows. You could also go to the Download tab, and it might be here. So if you click there, that's the Windows. And then just double click that, install it, get that on your computer, and go ahead and launch it. I actually have mine open down here, but if I double click, I can open it up here. So let's go to the upper right hand corner of our screen, and let's go to the plus icon. And that will create a new tab or new file. Go to File, Save. And let's go ahead and create in our documents in a folder named, Web Design and Development, something for this course. Let's go ahead and make a new folder in here and name it root folder. I'm going to have to name mine like root folder 5 because I have so many different root folders in here from other demos I've done, but you want to just name yours root folder. The reason why I'm having you name that root folder is because that's the kind of the industry standard name that web designers use for project folders. So it's basically the main project folder. Obviously, if you were designing a site for like a local grocery store, like say we have IGA in town, you would name it IGA website. Since it is a folder, you can have spaces in the folder name and everything. But for this particular demo, I'm going to have you name it root folder, just because it's going to introduce you to that term, which is the project folder for a website, is referred to as the root folder. Okay, so let's go ahead and save that in the web design in our documents. And within that, let's name this file index.html. So we need to name this HTML, and we place that directly inside of the root folder of our website file structure. And the reason that we name this index.html is that the .html tells us it's an HTML file. Obviously, the index is basically the home page, and the browser like Chrome or Safari or Internet Explorer, whatever you're using, will recognize index.html as the front page of your website or home page of your website. So go ahead and push save. Let's go to View at the top menu, Syntax, and make sure it's on HTML. Go to Indentation next and make sure that the tab width is at 2. So that we can have some nice formatting. So HTML under syntax, indentation should be tab width 2 under the view menu. Okay, so let's start typing in our document type. Actually, the best way to do it is just to start typing in HTML. And it will automatically put in the first line of code, which is always the doc type. And then, it's basically telling the browser this is an HTML document. And then let's look at some of the other elements that have been added. We definitely have to have HTML wrapped around all of our HTML code. So we have our HTML opening and closing tag. We have our head and our body. So think of your website as a person. The head is the place that does all the thinking. It's all the invisible stuff that you can't actually see. And then the body of the website is all of the visible content. The navigation, the logo, the, all of the words and headlines and images, all go inside the body. And the head is more just for like the title of the web page, such as home or something, and linking up your style sheets and things like that. So let's move on. Let's fill in the title tag. Let's put in hello world. Save that by Command S, or just do File Save. And let's go into Finder or into, just go back to your documents. Go back to that folder that we just created in your web design. Mine's root folder 5. Let's control click on this document and open with Google Chrome. If you don't have Google Chrome, then you'll probably want to download that, because Chrome is the main browser that you want to be using for web design and development. It's the best one to use for this particular thing. Okay, so I am going to, so we open that up. You can see the title that we put in there is the title of the tab. Okay, so we did put that in the head. So that does show up in the title of the tab in the head. And we do have some extra code in here. It's basically just, kind of code that is filled in to tell the browser that this is, an HTML page. Not necessarily stuff you need to remember or know super well, just so long as you know that it's just there for the browser to help interpret this page. So let's go into the body tag. Let's bring in push tab so that you're nested inside of that one tab in. And let's bring in an H1 element, which we learned about in Codecademy. And let's just see some of these let's go to H2. And let's go all the way, let's just do through H3. There's actually all the way through H6, but I'm not going to have you do all of them. I just want to show you some of the differences. So if we do a file save and go into Chrome, we can see it did add those in. Our heading 1, heading 2, and heading 3, and they mostly differ in size. So H1s are used for the most important content. H2s are for the second most, and H3s are, less important, and so on and so forth. It's for hierarchy of information, and it's actually, headings are very important to use properly, just for the screen readers to be able to jump through those headings and be able to summarize the page's content is very important for people with disabilities using screen readers. But this is, just some of the elements. Let's add in a P tag, just to see what that looks like. Okay, P tag. Oops, start typing that in. We can always put that like that, and we can go in the middle. Okay, and we can quickly go into Chrome and see what that looks like. There's our paragraph text. It's smaller and less bold, obviously, that makes sense. So let's go ahead and make some more of the semantic HTML, which is basically kind of the structure of the website. Basically, every web page, there is a header, and it's found at the top of the web page, and it's just inside the body tag, and it holds a navigation and maybe a logo and maybe some login buttons. We're not going to add a logo today or login buttons, but we will put a navigation in. So right under the right behind the body tag, let's push return, start typing in header. Actually, put the caret in first and then header, and then you can click and it will autofill for you. Let's open that up and then start typing in nav, and then open that up. So inside of our header, we're going to put the navigation. So you can see this on a lot of websites when you visit a website. So navigations are made up of unordered lists. So let's just start putting in an unordered list. Click on that, return, and then there are list items. So we need to add in the list items. I'm going to add in 2. So go ahead and put 2 in. And now let's go between those carets and put in home and contact. So there'll be a home page and a contact page. And let's go ahead and push Command S or File Save. go to Chrome and refresh, and you can see that added that in. They're not clickable though. We want to make this a navigation that we can click back and forth